What's going on, guys? Thanks for coming again tonight. Yes, I do know I'm fashionably late. Not too bad though, only like 3 minutes. Come on, that's pretty good. So I was just over on Chronic Stream, and if you haven't gone over and given them a like tonight, if you don't know, they're roasting Roma Army again. So I'm not really going to touch much on her because most of us already know she's an absolute piece of fucking shit. And the fact that she lives in the same country as I do is really an insult to all mankind. But don't worry, once I become emperor, we will be shooting her into the sun. Yes, because we cannot contaminate this earth with her disgusting body. But on top of that, they touched on another topic that I'm really glad that they decided to pick up, which was the grooming of kids again, taking them to drag shows. Oh my god, it was absolutely disgusting to watch. Disgusting, but I have to agree with everything they said. All those parents should definitely be investigated, and the children, well, again, like Hammer said, I don't condone the idea of taking children from parents, but I would seriously consider it with these people dragging their little kids into these strip clubs with drag queens, putting them up on stage, getting them to throw money at them. It was fucking disgusting and absolutely horrifying to watch. But if you guys want to pop in, I did put the link up. It's going to be kind of just an open discussion tonight. We'll just let it free flow. Um, like I said, I personally think Hammerhand and Chronic are going to do a good job on Roma. So, side note, I think Undead said that if he got 1,000 likes tonight, that he would do a live stream breakdown of Roma Army's porn on like Odyssey or Rumble, one of the others. So if you can, just go throw him a like at least, because that'll be worth it. Because it's absolutely disgusting. So just want to say hello to everybody, Mr. Angler, Jay. Good to see you guys. Indie brother, if you want to pop in, we haven't talked to you in forever. And Mr. Mouth Agape Ape, hello, sir. And Hemi 4 Speed. Oh, and of course, we got Post Kebab. Bob, are you at the Ministry of Air right now? Just curious. Just curious if you're there. Let's see who else we got. Well, Mr. Gunsight, hello, sir. And of course, Thumper. Uh, not too sure what you're talking about there, Angler. I'm sure it's you and Indy got something to go about landscaping, but it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, so these kids being dragged into these dens of debauchery. I mean, what else do you call it? Uh, Steven Crowder actually managed to get some footage that hasn't been released yet or is being kind of like pushed underground of these groups essentially that have gone there to stand up against it. And they showed up with receipts, man. And it turns out that a bunch of the people that were there to organize it or take part in this drag show were all fucking pedophiles themselves. So it's totally not grooming at all, right? It was absolutely disgusting. Um, I mean, where does the fucking end, guys? Where the fuck does it end? Like, if it isn't hockey mask time yet, then when the fuck are people gonna stand up and do something? I mean, it is absolutely disgusting and really on a level that I don't think we ever thought we would get to. You know what I mean? Um, I don't think anyone could have ever predicted that 20 years from in the past that we would be here today, with these kids being led into bars, let alone, you know, gay strip bars. Like and we're talking little kids, man. Little kids. I've seen them there like had to be younger than 6. It was fucking gross. I was going to try to pull up a video that I was watching earlier today from Crowder, Louder with Crowder, but I had to go do some things before I came in, so I didn't get quite a chance to upload it. But there was another one that really hit home when it came to what's been going on recently, and I think this one should take precedence over everything else, because this had to do with the school shooting that happened in Texas there I guess a week ago now. And to find out details, I mean, we had all heard that there were people there trying to help, and the police stopped them. But this updated info was just heartbreaking. So I'm going to play this clip from Crowder, but first of all, Mr. Thumper, hello, sir.
Now you can hear me.
Now I can hear you.
You getting an echo?
What's that, brother?
Are you getting an echo?
You seem to have taken care of it.
All right, cool.
So yeah, brother,
play the
what's going on?
Crowder chip.
What's that?
Play the Crowder clip. That's a damn tongue twister. Jesus.
Play the Crowder clip. You're right. It's a fucking tongue twister.
That Crowder clip.
Hey, brother. Sorry. Johnny Midnight. Hello, sir. Yeah, dude, it was fucking heartbreaking to watch this clip here. And you know what? I really hope that Steven Crowder does get this guy on. His niece or cousin was one of the kids that were killed. And they were on scene like as soon as the guy crashed his truck. So unless you got something to say there, Thumper, I'll just play the clip and we can discuss it after.
Yeah, just play the clip.
Yeah, because it is fucking heartbreaking, dude.
You know how people always mock the idea of a good guy with a gun stopping a bad guy with a gun?
Yeah.
Really? Well, the fact is, we've talked about this. Statistically, guns save far more lives than they take in the United States when you take into account defensive uses of firearms. It's not even close. Boom, that's done. Point is over. They lose. Now, we had that with Sutherland Springs, right? Stephen Williford was on the show. One of the deadliest shootings in modern American history was stopped by a guy with an AR-15. Could have had that exact same scenario here.
Speaking out for the first time exclusively with NBC News, Cody Briseño recounts the moment he ran outside the funeral home he works at and approached the Uvalde gunman, all happening seconds after the shooter crashed his pickup truck.
How far were you from him?
I was from like maybe 8-10 feet around there. And as he takes out this rifle, he's looking at me, and I tell my coworker, "Oh man, he has a gun, he has a gun." And as soon as I say that, I tell him, run, he has a gun. But I'm looking back, and this guy's already pointing at us. And you just hear, pa, 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 pa.
Briseño says minutes later, his wife arrived bringing him a gun just as police showed up at the scene. He says they stopped them from going after the gunman.
But my intention was to stop
Criminal.
him. And I mean, I feel guilty, man, because I couldn't stop him.
The police should feel
Briseño
guilty.
is now helping with the funerals of several of those killed, including Amarillo Garza, a relative of his.
I had to dig the grave, set up the tent, and lower her casket.
Couple of things here. We're going to try and get this man on the show. You shouldn't feel guilty. Those police should feel guilty. And by the way, it's one thing for the police to say don't do anything if they're handling it. They didn't handle it. And this is why the Second Amendment is absolute. This is why the Second Amendment is your God-given right to self-preservation. A police officer, or really any public employee, any member of our government, does not have the right or authority to tell that man that he cannot protect his and his own. That wasn't his daughter, but a relative of his. He had to dig a grave. Guess what? A police officer does not have the right to tell you, no. You don't have the right to prevent digging a child's grave, a relative of yours. You don't have that right. We're going to stop you. Right there. Hey, we don't know if he would have stopped him. Would have given at least a fighting chance, the only fighting chance, because the police didn't fight the shooter. It's your God-given right to self-preservation. We don't know what would have happened. But you know what? I want more guys like that. And I want guys like that to not fear repercussions from the police or federal marshals or FBI. in a situation like that, we're not talking about people going around hog wild with firearms. We're talking about where would there ever be a more appropriate situation than a man crashing his vehicle, aiming a rifle at you? Guess what? He's now forfeit his right to live.
Yeah, absolutely. He's shooting at you. And by the way, I want more wives like that. Think about the mindset. The mindset is somebody is shooting at me. I'm not running and hiding. I'm running away. My wife is bringing me a gun to handle the problem.
Right.
I'm not going to wait on anybody else. I'm not going to wait for this guy to go kill somebody else. That's the kind of mindset that it takes. The kind that storms a beach when you have to fight evil.
And then
not
people
the kind
say
that
it's
runs and hides.
And people say you're being foolish when you say it's not a gun issue, it's a character issue. Yeah, you know what? We do have a character issue. We want more guys like that and wives like his. Hey, guess what? Guess if they were in the police force and they had the courage to stand up to their chief, their captain, their sergeant, whoever was it, the chief, the police chief in this case?
He's been hiding.
Yeah.
Well, and think if he had the gun at the time.
Yep.
Yeah.
On him. Been
Done.
Yep, I'm just going to end it there because it just basically goes into the political side of things, but they're absolutely right. And, you know, it's a fucking shame because there was more than one chance to stop that guy fucking before he ever fucking touched a kid. All right?
Yep.
And what did they do? Stood back and fucking let it happen. And prevented people from stopping it. It's fucking disgusting. You know, we went over this the other day, and it's like, I don't think anybody that came on the panel, you know, said at any point that even if they weren't armed, they wouldn't have just thrown themselves in the fucking way to try to slow him down. You know what I mean?
I'm almost always armed.
As you should be.
Yeah, so, you know, you point a gun at me, you'd better use it quick.
Yeah, you should be fucking armed. And I mean, oh, it's fucking gross, man. It is gross. And then, like I said, the more details that come out about this and what the officers are fucking, you know, saying they did or didn't do, it just adds to the pile of disgusting behavior we expect now from our law enforcement. Mr. Mouth Gape Ape, hello, sir. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Oh, as good as I can be, brother. Good as I can be. Pissed off as usual. You know how it is.
Hold on a second.
Yeah, no, get yourself set up. I mean, if you guys were armed, okay, I'm assuming both of you are, you know, gun carriers. Maybe we should call you enthusiasts, right?
I'm more of a car guy, but I got a long distance hole puncher.
Yeah, Freedom Seed, fucking distributor, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Right.
Hold on a second, Chris. I can't hear you.
All right, buddy. Well, we'll just let him reconnect and we'll kind of go on. Oh, yeah, no, it's fucking sick, man. And, you know, yesterday we had one of Ontario's police chiefs, right? And I've been trying to find the video on anywhere but Facebook, but for some reason I fucking cannot. And I can't seem to get it to go through this computer. So the best I could do is, actually, I can't share a screen from my phone, but this police chief who has been in this position for like 28 years basically came out and told everyone in the public that removing people's rights to firearms in Canada will do absolutely fucking nothing to stop criminals. Nothing.
Yeah.
So, you know, we all know that's the truth of it. They know that's the truth of it. Yet a big portion of the public seems to still think that, you know, that makes logical sense. But yeah, as I was saying, Ape, before you disconnected, are you good now?
Yeah, I had you on a Bluetooth speaker, and then I cut it off, and I couldn't hear nothing.
Yeah, no, that's how they work. iPhone, I'm guessing, right?
No, fuck no. I don't do any Apple products.
Oh, well, congratulations.
Yeah, that Apple guy can burn in hell.
Yeah, no shit. But well, unfortunately, that's what I'm on. Even my computer is now Apple. Oh my god.
Oh,
It's okay, Chris. You're a fanboy.
Yeah, I can be forgiven for being that stupid.
the last Apple I used was Apple II, and that was in 1987, I think, in computer programming.
Oh my god. Well, either way, as I was saying, you guys are, well, you're familiar with firearms, correct? We won't say if you're legal gun owners or not, because I don't know. Maybe you are.
I've got one within 16 inches of my hand right now.
It's
So
too
yeah,
far away.
I'm familiar. Okay, wait a minute. 14 inches.
Duct
I
tape
served
that
in
thing.
2 wars, so it's kind of a given.
Yeah, duct tape that thing to your fucking leg, man. Let's go.
It's usually there's one on me if I'm not at work.
Okay, so both you guys in that situation, what the fuck would you have done with just even a sidearm? Would you have said,
If-
"Oh, he's got an AR, I better run away and wait for the fucking police"?
I would have blazed through every damn magazine I had.
Absolutely, absolutely. Even
Keep
if
going
you
till he
weren't
don't
armed,
move.
yeah. Even
I'm
if
with
you weren't
Sweaty.
armed,
I would have mag dumped that motherfucker as
Yeah.
soon as I seen him get out of the truck and head towards that school.
yeah, you would have gunned that motherfucker down and asked questions later. And now, even if you weren't armed, guys, you got a fucking armed lunatic who just crashed a vehicle now carrying a fucking rifle on the fucking run towards the school. And you know that's a school because you work right across from it, like that guy was. Dude, fast as my fucking legs could carry me, I would be fucking chasing him down. And even if he turned around, there's still a chance that when he turned around, he'd trip up, and that would slow him down.
I'd
You know what I
have
mean?
to repair body work because I can't run no more.
So you
So,
drive
you
into
know.
him.
I'd turn him into a speed bump.
Yeah, anything, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely fucking anything. Throw goddamn rocks. We've been doing that since the fucking dawn of time, and it worked. We've killed lots
Well,
of people with rocks.
it killed a giant.
Yeah, yeah. if
A
you're
rock
good
and
with
a
it.
sling supposedly killed a giant, and I've made slings out of old lawn chairs, the old nylon lawn chairs. You can make a hell of a good rock sling out of an old lawn chair and a couple pieces of shoelaces.
Yep. Well,
And
either way.
if you practice with them, there actually you could knock the shit out of somebody with a rock.
That's what they want to resort us to. They want to
Yeah.
resort us back to fucking throwing rocks at fucking armed criminals.
Did you see what the latest lawsuit for that Uvalde shooting is?
No.
The one of the family of the victims, I believe, is trying to sue Daniel Defense, and Daniel Defense makes some very high quality AR-15 platform rifles,
Mhm.
and they run anywhere from I think 17 to 25 to $3,000, which makes me wonder how this kid working at Wendy's for minimum wage could afford one. Anyways,
Everybody's been wondering that.
no
that's a
tinfoil
question
hat here.
No,
But-
it's a question we've had since day one.
Right.
And although we've come up with the standard theories, well, maybe he had a credit card, maybe he stole a credit card, maybe he did save up that much money.
It could be.
Could be,
But-
but you'd think they would have a fucking answer. How
Well,
they purchased it.
The deal is someone is trying to sue them, and they're trying to do a backdoor on them, and Daniel Defense has a commercial or an ad, and I saw it on Black Scout Survival. Sorry, I've had a couple of Pendletons tonight. But he showed this ad, and it was a little child, a little boy, probably about, oh man, he looked like he was 3 or 4. And he's sitting on the floor, and he's got a Daniel Defense AR sitting across his lap. And there's a loaded magazine that's on the ground away from the gun. And it was like, they're never too young to learn about gun safety or something like that. It was to that effect. And they're trying to round about it to say that they're trying to not initiate kids, but to groom them basically to be school shooters.
You
And
almost
that's how
wonder.
they're going to attack Daniel Defense. And I think it's Marty Daniels, I think, is the owner. He's actually a pretty stand-up guy. And this is just a shitty way that they're trying to round about this lawsuit. It's just like the argument. Okay, you're driving a Ford F-150 and you're drunk and you run over somebody, or you get in a wreck and you kill somebody. Are you going to sue the Ford company because you were driving an F-150 or a Taurus or whatever?
You're gonna sue the tequila manufacturer?
Yeah, you're going to sue
No, the brewer?
Budweiser because you were fucked up? Are you going to sue PBR?
Yeah, I mean, guys, we can call it tinfoil moment, whatever the fuck, a theory or whatever the case may be. But all the guys here that are making comments like this, like, how did he get this weapon or these weapon platforms? How did he afford like roughly around 9K worth of fucking equipment?
Well,
All
there's
of this fucking stinks.
they're the story of him and the Buffalo, New York shooter being in contact online with a retired FBI agent.
Yeah. Well,
Did you see the story where that retired that kid that went into Buffalo and shot up that store? Supposedly, now this could all be a freaking big old red herring too, but they said an hour before he committed that crime, he texted or emailed this guy and said, "This is my plan. This is where I'm going to hit. What do you think?" And this guy goes, "Good plan," or whatever he said. I'm like, this
So
this
these are the
crap's-
guys from Discord, from the Discord group.
Yeah, I think they were in a Discord, and I'm not familiar with Discord. I know it's kind of like a back channel so everybody can talk behind the scenes.
Yeah,
is
I
what
mean,
but
according to
I'm not on it, so I don't know.
according to all the media's reports, including the mainstream media, they're all saying that the guy from the Texas shooting and the other one that you're talking about, the grocery store shooting, were
Mhm.
both in contact together.
With same,
Not together, but with the same person on Discord who is a former fucking FBI guy.
that just
That's
screams
awfully
glowy.
suspicious.
Yep.
It screams glowy.
Yeah, it screams fucking glowy. It really does. And I mean, like I said, whether or not every one of those officers that were on the ground were involved in all of this, because they're not allowed to speak out. We haven't heard much from them, right? Other than
And
the
then they
absolute.
Yeah, they quit freaking helping out federal law enforcement. They said, "We're not going to help you anymore."
What the
What
fuck
the-
is? What the fuck does that mean?
I mean, you got the ATF, you got the FBI, you got all the letter agencies there, and they said, "We're not going to help you anymore." Well, yeah, I wouldn't want to slit my own throat too.
Help them with what?
They're not helping them with the investigation. They refused. The Uvalde police refused to help the federal government in the investigation.
Oh, wonderful. Okay.
Yeah, that came out like 3 days ago.
Yeah, and Gunsight One isn't wrong with what he said there. I mean, the fact that they termed him as a former FBI agent just gives them plausible deniability. Even though they're probably still the ones paying him. He's still on the payroll, and he was still taking orders. It's highly possible.
Yeah.
You know
The
what I
Gunsight is 100% on point, right?
Yeah. And whether or not, like I said, all of these officers that were on the ground while heading for this fucking situation were all informed to stand down or to hold back, we don't know that for sure. It obviously looks very fucking suspicious.
Well,
Right.
that guy was talking about that Black Scout Survival. He's an ex-Marine. He does survival prepping videos.
Hmm.
He said that he actually looked at the Uvalde Police Department's their best practice or whatever for an active shooter.
Right.
And years ago, Chris, it used to be you blocked every avenue of escape. You surrounded that place and you waited them out until SWAT or SRT or whatever the acronym was for the guys to go in there, or they'd sit there and they discuss it and they talk and they try to talk the guy down and whatever, or they storm the building and they kill the guy.
Yeah.
Now their standard operating procedure, and this is from their police department. He had the paperwork from their training regimen. Any active shooter, you will, if you're the only officer there, if you're the beat cop that rolls up, grab your AR, grab your pistol, whatever it is, you get in there and you engage that motherfucker and you shoot him.
Well, we had Eric on here last week talking about it. He
And
said the same thing. If you're still getting
I-
calls, like they were
Yeah.
still getting live 911 calls, he was like, "You gotta fucking act. You know,
Yeah,
you
you're
can
getting
act with
calls
caution,
from
but
little
you gotta
girls
act."
and little boys that are crying, please send somebody to help. He's shooting people.
Yeah,
And
they just
then
fucking stood there.
and call me a freaking, not a conspiracy theorist, just call me a skeptic. They've got this guy, okay. The community's predominantly Hispanic. The guy that was a shooter was Hispanic.
Hmm.
It looks like every victim was Hispanic.
Yeah.
You have a guy that is, his wife is a teacher, and I believe she was Caucasian. His wife's a teacher. His daughter's in the school. He was at the school prior to the shooting because of an award ceremony. He leaves the award ceremony, goes and gets a haircut. This shit rolls down. His wife calls and says, "There's an active shooter. I'm taking cover. Help if you can," and hangs up. So he grabs a shotty from the barber, which, if you watch some videos on barbershops getting robbed, I wouldn't be surprised if every barber in the country wasn't packing heat.
Dude, I think
But
all the barbers used to have fucking at least a 12 gauge.
yeah,
At least a 12 gauge.
Yeah.
Like
And-
a
and so
shorty,
he-
but
yeah, he grabs a shotgun from the barber. He rolls in there and he says, "I know every police officer on that force. They all know me. I told him that I was going in and they just kind of said, okay." But I hate to say this because, I mean, the guy had a kid in there. His
Yep.
child was safe. His wife was safe. Fortunately, I'm happy for that. But it's almost like he was the token Hispanic guy that went in and saved the day.
yeah.
And I hate to say that, but I've watched several interviews and he's sitting there with his arm in a sling or whatever that, I think it was a sling. He's sitting there with his arm in a sling and he's talking about it and he's just so, it's almost like a rehearsed speech. It was almost like he was giving a speech. Yeah, I did this, I did this, I did this, and then I went in here and then I engaged him and I don't know, man. A lot of people have called me a tinfoil hat wearer, but
Yeah, well, like I said, we need new conspiracies theories because all of our old ones just fucking came true. So
yeah.
we're all out. We're all out, home slice. We need some new conspiracy theories. Everything else, right down to fucking shit that Alex Jones has said, has all come true. We need
Yeah, the
something new, man.
tinfoil hats aren't working. They're reading our minds and actually doing it.
Yeah, they are literally following out the fucking the game plan here.
What I've been,
When Babylon B gets it right, and they're supposed to be satire, and all you have to do is wait a month to 3 months, and
Yeah.
the Babylon B's right. Holy shit, man!
Yeah.
are you tired of being right yet? Anybody?
Yeah. Anybody tired of being fucking right? It's fucking sick.
It's
dude.
like when Trump says, "Damn, I'm kind of tired of being right all the time."
My God.
That pissed people off so freaking bad.
Yeah.
Was
hey,
Gunsight in there? Oh, I can't. It went by.
oh, sorry. You wanted this one again?
Oh, okay. He's just talking. I think he's talking to Bob.
Oh, okay, yeah. Bob's
Yeah.
answer here is good. They're not conspiracy theories anymore, just spoiler warnings.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're fucking right. And you know what, guys? From what Gunsight was saying there about it being a big fucking, they need it to be as super cringy as possible. And we've all stated this already. Nothing is more cringy than watching a bunch of fucking children be slaughtered. Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
They're trying for the emotional appeal.
Yeah.
Yep.
And with
It's
these
all about
fucking,
the fifis.
yeah, with these politicians and shit showing up just like instantly.
Yeah.
Instantly.
Oh yeah. And
And they're
it's
fucking-
almost like they have a freaking piece of paper, kind of like the news agencies. It's almost like when Beto O'Rourke, he like photobombed that news conference.
Yeah.
He's lucky he walked out of there with his teeth.
Oh, dude, somebody should have fucking just beat his ass. I was hoping the mayor was going to beat his ass right there. The guy that was telling him he was a fucking disgrace should have beat his ass right there.
I went to college to be a cop, and I wanted to be a state trooper in Washington State. And I went there for a year, and there were some things that happened. I had a grandmother that was in intensive care for 4 or 5 months, and I had a full-time job, so I was trying to go to a hospital, go to school, and have a full-time job at the same time. So something had to give. Well, school gave. So I didn't become a cop, thank goodness, because something bad would have happened, I think. But anyways, I try to be law enforcement friendly, but man, it's tough.
Dude.
It's tough. And you know what? I think my town has 26 police officers and they have 6 sheriff's deputies. I personally know the sheriff of this county. It is a female. She is a staunch conservative. I don't think she would be one that if they said you need to take guns, she's going to say pound sand up your ass. It ain't happening. Now,
Yep.
these young bucks that are coming up from the police academies, they come here for 1 to 2 years. They get their academy paid for by Nebraska or by this city. They serve 2 years and then they bounce. They go to Lincoln, they go to Omaha, they go to Denver, they go to somewhere where there's action because it's slower shit around here.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, with all the crap that's going on, I'm like, I'm not backing the blue because the blue isn't backing me because I know when seconds count, I know they're minutes away.
Well,
They're minimum half hour away from me unless they're driving by at the time it happens.
yeah, we got 45 minutes. 45
Yeah, you're
minutes.
sweaty fat man. Where are you at?
Northern
Are you-
Michigan. Out
Yeah,
middle of
you're in
nowhere.
the UP.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I thought that's what you were. You're up there. What you said, you're a half hour from the town, from any town.
Yeah. 13 miles
Yeah.
from the nearest gas station.
I'm 150 miles. I'm 55 miles from the nearest Walmart, and I'm 150 miles from the nearest town that has over 50,000 people.
Jesus, so you're out in the
Ord?
States.
What's that?
Are you in Ord?
Ord, Nebraska? No, I'm in the Western Panhandle where we'll
Out
just
by
say
Sydney.
yeah, about 75 miles north of Sydney.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
grew up in York, so
yeah. You grew up in York?
yeah.
Yeah, I'm on the other side of the state. I'm where a very large railroad has a very large shop,
Ah, yeah.
and it's not North Platte.
As long
That's
as
a
it's
big one in
useful,
North Platte.
as long as it's
Yeah.
useful to take over when shit hits the fan, that'll make a great structure.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Gunsight, you should pop on and throw in your 2 cents worth verbally, brother. You really should.
He
'cause
should.
you
He's only gotten on one freaking stream, and he was like shy about it. He needs to get on.
Yeah, too. You know what I mean? Like, fuck, he can lay it down, brother. He can lay it down. You know, guys, it's an open stream. You're welcome to come on. We don't generally dox anyone unless you know, we do it by accident. I don't think we've doxed anyone. Eric, maybe. I don't know.
My face is on here. My name is not Mouth Agape 8, but if you want to try to find me, bring it.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah.
I just follow
I know
the
where
beard-
you're at. Jesus.
The beard polish. Where do they fucking sell the beard polish? They're around there.
Well, I got to drive 55 miles to the nearest Walmart.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
almost
dude.
out, and I gotta work on this thing here.
You gotta get some of those waxes and stuff that they talked about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so overnight shipping is a 3-day thing for you, isn't it?
Dude, when they say free, yeah, I've never joined Amazon Prime because they say, oh, it's 2-day shipping. Oh, my aching ass. It's 7 to 10 days if it's free or if I pay for it. So I'll just go free.
Pooping's gonna start his own OnlyFans stream. Well, we'll have to check that out. How much is your subscription a month, brother? Maybe we can get some donations from the guys here, and we'll just watch it and stream it.
Is
I
Flanders
don't
going to
need see
be
him putting Sharpies in his orifices.
is Flanders going to be peeing while sitting?
Oh, probably. I haven't seen him in a couple of days. I don't know where the hell he's disappeared to. Probably just taking a break
I
with
don't
the kid
know.
or something. But
You know, I
no.
googled it. I'm only at like 3 hours, 3.5 hours from Sanders, and I told him, I says, you know, I'd like you to make me a Long Island iced tea, and we'll go have some dinner. He's like, let's do it.
Let's do it, brother Bob. What's going on, sir?
Hey guys, I'd like to throw in on this because conspiracy theories are my bread and butter. Somebody was just saying in chat that they saw it on BitChute that there's no records of these kids even being born.
That's not. That can't be right.
Wow, like I said,
Well-
I was bringing it up in chat. The Newtown incident, the FBI crime report from that year reported no homicides at all.
And they also reported that they were at a was it New England Patriots?
Yeah, they were at the Super Bowl.
So,
the following year. And
there was pictures of those kids. Yeah.
And you remember at that time, though, at that time that happened, the pictures of them kids were from years ago, right?
Well,
So it wasn't their actual age. But I remember specifically the one blonde girl who was at the Super Bowl thing, and they showed her picture for the Newton incident, and she has clearly a gap in her teeth that comes out in the pictures, and there's clear footage of her that it's the same girl.
Well, hey, maybe we should, just on a side note, take advantage of this sale that we're being offered here. Look at this.
Man, that's a lot.
69 cents only. That's a hell of a fucking coupon, dude. What's up, brother Angler?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Oh, we're fucking just getting all pissed off. If any of this shit was fake, right? And people fucking did this, completely elaborate hoax.
I mean, these are
killing children.
These are regular things that the government does. They're called disaster drills, and sometimes they go live.
Yeah, well, either way, they all need to be taken out and shot.
Do you guys remember? You guys remember that that guy that went on a kill crazy stabbing rage on that bridge in England?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I remember that.
And supposedly he killed somebody with a Nordwall whale tusk or some shit.
Well, I mean, that's possible. Those are
that's
like a narwhal
somebody
whale
took
and
him
make
out
it
with.
still.
It was a narwhal. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you
Fucking
see?
narwhals.
Did you see the video that somebody was filming? They were filming from their apartment window of that bridge, and it showed the people that were supposedly dead on that bridge that he had come up on and then stabbed them to death, and then they all got up and freaking walked away. Have you ever seen that video?
No, sir.
No, but you know what? I did see some of the footage from it, and it was doctored. pictures that they put out for that. Do you guys remember that thing that happened after Newton? There was like a school in like Philadelphia or something like that, where a kid had basically stabbed like 21 kids, like they were basically standing in line. You know,
Did
the
this just
coroner.
happen?
No, this was, well, Newton happened in 2012, and this was probably the year after.
Oh yeah,
And,
okay.
yeah, you know who the coroner was for that?
Oh, the same guy who did he was the coroner for fucking wasn't it like Gabby Petito?
No, for the same one for the Newtown, Connecticut deal.
Oh, okay.
How can he be the coroner if he's an elected official and he's freaking?
He's also a director for crisis actors.
He's a crisis actor, is what he is.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Well, boys, I'll tell you what. The craziest part to me, and I try like hell to keep my mind together every day, is how they were so good at covering this shit up. And
you know what? They're not good at it at all, because you give the internet 24 hours and the story falls apart. I mean, look,
that's it.
Good.
Hold on. It's the media. Yeah. How people listen to it. Yeah.
Well, and then they try to say it's fake news. Once the truth comes out or contradictory evidence comes out, they say, "Oh, it's fake news. This is fake news. Believe us. We're here for you."
Well, here's the funny thing too. It's like, okay, Angler brings up a fantastic point, like with Waukesha.
I'll jump back in the chat. All right.
Okay.
All right,
Okay. So like with Waukesha, right? That happened almost as a direct response to Kyle Rittenhouse going free. Just a week later, this guy auto mow downs a whole bunch of old ladies who were, singing Christmas songs, and one little boy died too, and we don't hear anything about that. Now, I understand. I'm not going to get into the racial aspect of it, other than the fact that it is not going with the narrative that all these massacres are being committed by white supreme pizzas,
unless they're not.
Unless they're not, right.
And then
everybody that does something bad, the white supreme pizza.
Yeah, I know. With extra spinach and mushrooms, it fucking sucks. But
even if they got a hammer and sickle tattooed on their chest and they're carrying a bunch of Marx and Engels books,
and many of them do, right? Exactly.
Creamy.
But Angler is totally right about that. I mean, he brought up a great point, though. It's just kind of like it's the medium. They're able to shove it down the rabbit hole. Down the Orwellian rabbit hole, the memory hole, where a lot of people are just not awake and aware enough to take. I don't want to say woke. I mean aware enough to say, okay, hey, I remember that. I remember this event. I've studied these events. I've taken. I've kept my ear close to the ground. All of us here on this panel have done that. I'm going to be honest with you. With all the shit I got going on in my personal life, I'm having a hard time keeping up with all the fucking massacres. 2 a day now? 2?
Yeah, to the week almost.
Yeah. I mean, it's more than the fucking food facilities burning down now.
And you know what? Pooping while standing is not wrong here. If you gave these, 4chan should be able to fucking pull apart any goddamn false flag operation out there, because they have done it. They have fucking
they have.
And they have done fucking better.
Johnny, I don't blame you for missing out, because you're a rock star now.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Johnny Rockstar.
Johnny Rockstar.
Johnny
I can
Rockstar.
say that
There it is.
I know Rockstar. I had a buddy back home that the biggest thing he ever did was open up for LA Guns. But now I know it.
I remember them.
Rockstar.
Yeah, man. People are gonna open up for my ass right now. I probably am never gonna play live, But
you need to work on your phrasing, buddy.
Yeah. I'll have my manager take care of that,
They're gonna open up for my ass.
Oh God, that was bad. I walked right
Just-
into that.
Just
shit.
a bit, Johnny.
Oh,
Just a bit.
shit. Open up for
Oh,
my ass.
That was
That's
an
just-
underhand pitch, and it went the yard.
Right above your head and between your fucking legs.
It went.
All right.
I liked it.
Yeah, okay. But anyway,
You deserved it.
I did. I deserve everything I got coming to me, man. But anyway, no, but seriously though, the thing is that it really is getting hard to keep up with, and these fucking events are just I can see the script. I can see them unfolding every fucking day. I don't know what's going to be next. I actually thought that it was going to be the fake alien invasion. They roll up Project Bluebeam. There's going to be a bunch of like shit. Yeah. Oh yeah,
Dude.
it is.
Dude,
I mean,
when
am I right?
Well, we're seeing the medical thing fucking fall apart, right? Because they
Right.
pushed COVID too far. Now they're trying to push monkeypox, and nobody's buying it.
Ukraine.
It's basically a fucking joke.
It's
They're
a
pushing the
nothing burger.
Ukraine fucking conflict that's going on. Now
Yeah.
they're fucking having mass shootings all over the place, generally involving kids or
Of
fucking just,
course.
absolutely 100% innocent people.
Right.
And of course they're still pushing all the other narratives like, the racism thing and the
Right.
sexism thing and the fucking, transism thing and
Mhm.
and
Man,
every
that's a lot
fucking
of
other
isms.
thing. Dude, there are so many of them now that it's definitely impossible to keep up with
Well,
it all.
I mean, what would happen if the next mass slaying, there's going to be one, was done by a troon, like a transsexual?
A transformer?
Transformer. What would the media say about that? There's like, oh, that's our holiest of holies. They can't
Yeah.
do that. They fucking wig out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that they might get off.
Dude,
They might.
Yeah.
we've got okay. I don't know if you guys follow Steven Crowder, but like the shit that he came out today, basically roasting AOC. Oh, by the way, guys, before I tell you what, I'll share the video because
Yeah.
I
pop it
found out
on.
tonight that my abbreviations as the Emperor of Canada is
Okay.
EOC, right? So I must be related to AOC. She's
You got
like
those
my
horse
half
teeth.
sister, right? Because the amount of
you got-
logic that this bitch came out with today or yesterday, whenever she made this TikTok video or whatever it was,
God.
Instagram short, literally made just as much fucking sense.
Well,
Just
I'll tell
as
you
much.
one thing. When I just got back in here, sorry, Chris,
No, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
but Chris brought up a very good point that there are so many fucking distractions right now.
Hmm.
The politicians, the media, they did. I think that's a war game in itself, where they're
It's
trying.
breads and circuses.
Yeah,
It's not even just bread.
and people get so distracted. They don't know what to pay attention to.
Angler, you're really on to something here. I'm thinking this is actually the beginning. Well, it's already begun, if you want to be honest. A low intensity civil war. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, I mean, look at what we had with the peaceful protests last year and the year before that.
Right.
We call them riots here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Some people
Riots.
are allowed to set fires.
Yeah.
Some people are not allowed to peacefully congregate.
Look, see, Flamin got it right. Look, EOC.
EOC.
It's just like AOC. We are now related.
Emperor.
I'm her half brother.
You have those crazy eyes and horse teeth like she does, so I think that's where not just kidding.
Brother Pooping, what's going on, sir?
The pooper is in the
Hey,
house.
hey, gentlemen. No, I had to jump in because I thought, Angler, dude, you're spot on. It's like, the magicians, the WF. In fact, if it wasn't for Omicron, this agenda would continue on. If we didn't have that variation that was not as deadly and very transmissible, they would continue on with their agenda that they tried before.
Yeah.
Thankfully, people are waking up. But you're right. It's a total distraction.
Yep.
So I just get so incensed. And when you talk to people about like Waukesha, like, do you remember that? Or like, yeah, kind of. And I'm like, well, why do you not wonder why that's not relevant to mass murders, mass shootings, killings, whatever. And most people are they're just so ostriches, I guess.
So fucking distracted. It's working. The stupid distractions are actually fucking working. They're actually fucking working.
It is, but also it's not. I mean, look at this community. It's not working with us, but it is working with a lot of people.
Right, but they could hit a
We're
button.
on the outside anyway.
Yeah, they could hit a button and we go away. The internet goes away.
Or social credit scores. We will be flagged in which that you want a credit card, you're going to pay more.
Well, they're already planning to push that. Right?
Well, here's what I think about the whole alien invasion thing, or the spaceships, and I'm halfway through the Four Horsemen, or Behold a Pale Horse.
Oh, by
Cooper.
Yeah.
I've got it sitting within inside of me right now.
Richard Cooper?
Richard Cooper.
No, not that entrepreneur.
No,
you damn Canadian. It's William Cooper, I believe.
I fucking hate Richard Cooper so much, guys.
Is it William?
I think it's William Cooper. I'd have to look at the book, but I think it's William Cooper.
It's got the guy, the skeleton on the horse on the cover. Yeah.
Right.
And what's it called?
And the new version,
and Behold the Pale Horse, man.
Yeah. The new versions have the chapter 13 was edited. The original book, chapter 13, I can't even remember what it was about, but the newer versions, they have modified it. So somebody got in there with their greedy little hands and changed some stuff.
Okay, but I first read that in 1998.
Milton Williams Cooper.
Yeah, but he went by Bill. He went by Bill Cooper.
Bill Cooper. Yeah, and he died.
Yeah, well, he calls himself William on the thing.
Yeah, and he was a Navy intelligence officer that had some interesting experiences and in the Navy with unidentified objects.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
Chris, have you ever read this?
No, I'm actually just purchasing it right now.
Good, fucking read it
on the Audible app.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a very interesting read. And then this guy mysteriously died, kind of like almost like an Epstein, but I don't think they said he killed himself. He just died of natural causes of something that killed him.
They never revealed exactly what it was. It was like a
and he flat out said, if something happens to me, I didn't do it.
Right.
So yeah. But anyway, so what I was going, the point I'm going at is there's always a distraction.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And they have to have a distraction because this distraction starts to wane. Oh, okay, we got to get another distraction. Now I'm going to call it right now.
Okay.
After the space alien distraction and why Reagan started Star Wars back in the 80s, it wasn't to protect us from nuclear missiles. It was to protect us from space aliens coming in.
He even said that in front of Gorbachev. And I saw that meeting where he went, it was at the United Nations Assembly, and he said, wouldn't it be great if we could all get together and link hands in peace so that we could fight an alien invasion? And Gorbachev looked at his vice premier and was like, what the fuck is he talking about?
And then under Trump, under Trump, we got a space force.
Yeah, we got space force.
Yeah.
But the next thing that's coming, in my opinion, and I'm just a freaking dumbass from Washington State, but I've lived in Nebraska forever, so I can say that I'm a Nebraskan. The next thing after this, after the space alien and the spaceships, and we admitted them, and oh yeah, they're smarter people than us, and they could blow us up at any time. The next thing that's coming, they're going to admit that Bigfoot's real, Dogman's real,
Man, bear, pig.
What'd you say, man?
Man, bear, pig. Yeah.
You might as well. Man, bear, pig is real. The fucking El Chupacabra is real. Everything is real, and they're gonna say we have evidence that there are beings here that can go through portals. They can go through time. They can do this, but they're good witches, or whatever how they're gonna spin it. But that
good witches.
I've been thinking about this for months, and I'm like, what's the next big thing gonna be?
No, I really do think it's gonna be Project Blue Beam.
It's gonna be what?
Project Blue Beam. Yeah, I really do think that after the whole Ukraine thing settles down and they're done with all the diseases, we're suffering heavy inflation, basically a depression. Many people might start starving too.
Dude, the food
to save us, there will be a fucking alien incursion. They're already gearing us up for it.
Yeah.
UFOs are no longer a conspiracy; they're UAPs now. All right.
Yes. Well, they've changed the name of them, and now there's video evidence, and they said, yeah, we don't know what these are. Well, you've got an F-18 Hornet that can go 1,600 miles an hour, and this little Tic Tac is leaving their ass and outmaneuvering them. And they're saying, we don't know what the fuck this is. It ain't a drone. We don't know if a drone can fly to 2,500 miles an hour and change directions instantly.
It sure isn't.
They're admitting it, but they're priming everybody for what's coming.
Exactly. Yeah.
To answer Outlaw, I'm pretty sure all of us old fucks absolutely love this series.
Y'all remember Unsolved? Oh yeah, bro.
Oh okay, yeah, that was one of the best shows on TV ever, and I think they tried remaking it a few years ago, and it completely fucking flopped.
But going back to what Ape was talking about, have you guys noticed a significant increase of military aircraft? Airplanes and helicopters and everything flying over.
Yeah, and I see where I'm at. Your bases, your army bases out of Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas. I see tanks. I see APCs. I see Bradleys. I see.
I see a lot of A-10s. The Warthogs.
No shit.
All the time.
I see a lot of heavy armored vehicles going through my town on train cars.
I do. I see that coming out of Fort McCoy. Yeah.
They're always moving armor on trains. So that's
but I'm on the main line that it's not the northern line, but I'm on the line that goes through and goes up to the coal basins and then goes out to Seattle, and then it goes down. Then it goes down through into Texas.
Okay. You know what though? Here's the thing: if let's say hypothetically, right, that all this craziness that we're talking right now, all fucking came out. Yep, we're definitely not alone. Yep, other beings have been here, lots of different kinds, lots of different times. Yep, they've taken people. Yep, they could be back with the fucking army. This could be something that's on the list, right?
Yeah.
Let's be honest. We could handle that. Compared to the fucking insanity going on out here today, we could handle that.
Yeah, but hey, Chris, don't you think that would just be a rallying point? I mean, much like what 9/11 took place. I mean, that was pretty much a distraction for failed foreign policies, investments, and funding of wars that we never should have been in.
Yeah.
So, I almost think that, sorry, that was like a little bit tongue in cheek. I don't know if you guys know what DCS is.
No, go ahead. Tell me, because I'm the uneducated Canadian, remember?
DCS is a phenomenal, like better than Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's a phenomenal war fighting game. It's
got a learning curve from hell.
It's a huge learning curve. But once you master
Would it train you how to fly a plane into a building?
Yes,
without a doubt. You could, once you mastered it in game, you could go out on any tarmac with whatever you're
DCS.
waiting for.
Let me get on Steam real quick.
You can get into any plane that's in that game, and you can start it and fly it.
Oh,
Really?
World Steam Edition. Yeah.
You know
heard about
what
this.
switches to switch or flip and everything.
Amazing graphics.
Where can I get
Very
this?
Fly it.
Where can I get this?
It's going to cost you a fucking pretty penny, but
Yeah.
it's
Oh.
all
like
fucking DLCs. Yeah.
Well, guys, there's a PayPal there. I can get one if you guys donate.
Chris, you better stay the fuck away from Indiana.
Why? Man, look, we got Brandon Trueblood is going to be building airplanes, all right? I need to know how to fly an airplane.
Oh,
Plain and simple.
Well,
He can
coming
teach
over
you how
the
to fly an
Rockies.
ultralight in 15 minutes.
Yeah, we're going to go over the fucking Rockies, cross the border, and fucking invade Canada with ultralights.
over the Rockies.
I actually have an
Right.
ultralight airport right in my village, right behind my
See?
house.
See, Johnny's on board.
Easy there, easy
Chris-
to get to.
Chris will be shot down if he's not vaxxed first.
Yeah, that's
The
true.
flight plan is he vaxxed? No, take him down.
You
Well,
can
I
get
don't know.
DCS
Brandon's
on
supposed to be
Steam
the
for free.
Brandon's supposed to be the head of the Canadian Mounted Police, so he might not shoot him down.
Well, Brandon won't, but you know we got to get him in position first.
Yeah,
True
Dudley
blood.
Do Right will.
You're behind the scenes. You got to keep us all in lockstep.
I'm actually Department of Minister of Immigration, so I could let that kind of slide by as we cross borders
And I
back
believe-
and forth.
I believe I'm the head of Fish and Game, so we're all going to eat.
What
Nice.
is this?
Can I
outlaw?
be
Is this-
Minister of Defense because I was a space shuttle door gunner?
Yes.
Oh, there you go. Boom. You're
Oh,
hired.
the Outer Limits opening theme.
Hey, Lord Emperor, since we're passing out positions, can I be like in charge of like the ATF? I love guns. I love beer.
As long as you are ensuring that every Canadian is armed.
Oh, fuck
whether
yeah.
they use it or
And
not.
drunk.
is-
No,
is
I
not-
would issue one. I would say,
Yeah.
here's part of your tax refund. You're not going to get it, but here's a SIG 226 or a
Yeah.
Glock 17, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
I
But,
like it.
like, guys, I have laws that I am putting in place, and the first one is that every Canadian citizen that is not a full-on psychopath is armed. Every one
That
of them.
sounds good to
Whether
me.
they use it, it's up to them, but they will go through a training course that will cost them next to nothing, and they will fucking get a gun, which will cost them next to nothing, because by the time I'm done, ARs are going to be like $100, right?
Oh man, nice.
Yeah, and everybody has to have one in every fucking household. Whether you use it or not is your choice.
Just like
you have
Switzerland,
to fucking
get a
have it.
gun. Yeah.
If you don't have
We
it,
talked about this last night.
yeah, if you don't fucking have a firearm in your house with a fucking
pay a
willing
fine.
participant to use it,
You're
anything
breaking
that
the
happens
law.
to you cannot be considered a crime.
Hey, Boss Mitchell. One question: feminism is going to be outlawed, yeah?
Oh God, yeah, same.
No,
day.
he's gonna
Okay,
repeal the
okay.
19th, or at least
Dude,
All right.
no,
Oh,
we're-
thank you, God. Yeah.
We're
okay.
switching. Well, I mean, you got to remember, guys, you're only voting for your local people now. You're not voting for me. I'm an emperor. I don't need your fucking vote.
No,
Fuck
we
votes are
can't vote.
done. I'm just here. I'm here to make sure that you stay free and the people that you elect do the fucking job they're hired to do. And if they step out of line, give me a call. I'll come straighten that out too fucking sweet.
That
That's
sounds
it.
great. So we can actually report feminists, and they get shipped over to Haida Gwaii, and
they go into this
camp.
this camp. It's called defeminization camp, which Good Mother is actually going to be forced
Yeah.
to
In it,
oversee.
love it.
Holy shit!
Oversee.
Right.
Doctor,
She's
I love
she's
it.
gonna be like the bitch
Yeah.
of Haida Gwaii, and
Yeah.
it's a fucking terribly cold island off the western coast of Canada.
Yeah,
and
you're
those
gonna
women
come-
are never going to be able to swim that way out of it.
You're gonna look these feminists that
Fuck.
say that they hate all men and stuff are gonna come back after about 3 months with a very different attitude.
Oh,
Like
they'll
the
be
first guy
begging to
that-
hit their knees.
Yeah, the first guy that they see when they get off the boat or the plane to come back,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
gonna be like, "I am so glad you're here to help me. I
So-
love you."
You know what? What you could do is actually start a chain of sandwich shops that they can work at, so they can, to get them back into society after they've been
Market type shit.
rehabilitated.
Yeah.
See how well
You
they
gotta
can make a
remember,
sandwich.
Quite
like
a
a
few
work
of them
release.
are quite old.
Yeah,
right?
work
But
release.
you got to remember, quite a few of them are quite old, right? And they're very used up. So I mean, to help fill the shortage of brothel workers we're going to have, unfortunately, they're going to be slightly older, but they'll have lots of experience, so they'll make it good times, right?
No, hey, Chris,
Oh,
let's
yeah.
just fire up like cuties again. Let that shit continue. And we have all the lineage and the lineage of which that we could just pull from.
Oh, them sick fucks. Yeah.
I mean, well, that'd be like baiting tactics.
I got a
Well,
knife
no,
for your
yeah,
sandwich shop.
We'll
Shooting fish
have
in the-
signs for pedophiles that says free children here, right? And they'll just fucking, they're stupid enough, they'll go for it.
Yeah,
Well,
and they're gonna fucking hang.
Yeah, NAMLA, actually, it'll be like a rat trap inside.
Dude, it would be like a cow processing plant.
A
It would
roach
just
motel.
go like one after another and pump,
Nuts is checked
Yeah.
in, but they
Just-
don't check
it would
out.
fall and
There
be
you
like, what's
go.
going on?
No, we got great
See
laws
the little
already
boy
planned
over
out.
there? Just keep staring at him.
Yeah,
Right.
and people are going to be able to cut out their own section of fucking Canada to call their own, do their own homesteading. It's going to be great, guys. It's a
Chris,
utopia.
you got to take over a little bit of America too, because you got to get like Rock Island Arsenal so we can get all the AR-15s and shit.
Hey, Rock Island Arsenal.
So, oh yeah,
they're going to get such a good fucking deal to move their factories here.
I bet.
They will be fucking on us faster than fucking other countries were on China. You know what I mean?
I've not read the book, but it's called The Art of War.
Oh yeah,
It's by Sun Tzu.
You haven't read The Art of War? Oh my god!
No, I haven't. But
Read
I've seen several things out of it, and it basically
Angler.
hold on. From what I got from it was you use against them what they use against you. Okay, I'm done.
Right
There
here.
you go.
Oh, there you go. Beautiful.
There you go.
Right there. All right.
Get the audio version. I recommend the audio version.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
no,
actually,
You know what?
You know what's
sure
right
that,
next
like
to
on
it?
YouTube, it's for free. Like if
Yeah.
you search, like you can find it on YouTube.
You want to see
or,
what's right next to it?
Like an audio version.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm almost
Declaration
positive.
of
I've read the
Independence.
book a couple of
Oh.
times, but I'm pretty sure.
Nice.
The other one, obviously, I think every male in high school should read Atlas Shrugged in the Fountainhead.
Yeah,
Declaration.
probably. I haven't read that one, but
Okay.
to answer
You don't
Sean's
teach
question
that
here,
shit.
this is also day one. Okay, co-parenting is no longer an option. You co-parent. That's it. That's the option. So that's all over with. The
Mhm.
family court system will be there for those children, of course, that need it, but they're not getting paid by how many children are on their list. They're just
And
getting paid
and
to do a
fathers
job.
will be
and that's
heard.
it. What's that?
Fathers-
Yeah, fathers
fathers will be heard.
will have the majority say in their household and with their children. We're going back. We're going back, guys. We're going back.
Chris,
And
I
the
got
burden of evidence needs
I
to
got
be
my
more.
first bill on how the family court makes their money. I got my first bill. Like, I got to pay monthly, whatever. And I'm wondering, because I was always hearing about how these judges and all these fucking people involved in the system, they get their pensions and all their money. I got a bill
hmm
for $55.
Oh, that's fuck off.
That didn't go towards child support or anything like that. It was called a service bill,
Yeah,
pretty
A
much.
processing fee.
Oh yeah,
dude,
yeah.
that's nothing. If you looked at how they get paid, right? They get federally funded because they're part of the court system, which is not just a part of the state, but it's a part of the federal government, right?
Yep.
When it comes to family courts, everybody is paid off by numbers. Anything they get extra is just a bonus. That doesn't go back to the federal government. That's just a bonus. The federal government pays them for their services no matter what.
Yep.
So everything they can suck the fuck out of you, for every dollar they suck out of you, they get an extra $1 or $1.60 from the fucking federal government.
Yep.
For every case that they have on their books, they get so much for every case. It's no different than what the hospitals did with COVID and jacking the numbers up there.
It's a damn cash
fucking
grab.
thing. It's a cash grab, right? But
Yep,
nobody
that's what it
seems
is.
to see it,
These
and
sons of
nobody
bitches.
reports on it.
These fucking sons of bitches.
Your children are nothing but fucking cattle.
They're
To
tax
these
cattle.
people, they are cash cows only. They could give 2 fucks less about them. They could
Yep.
give 2 fucks less about you. And
They don't
could
give a
two
fuck
fucks
how
less about
much.
the woman involved. The
Yeah.
only reason they bait the women is because they're so cheap to bait. They
They
are
are.
so
Easy.
fucking cheap. And not
Yep.
only that, but they
They're
get to build
easy.
they get to build a whole new fucking federal sucking fucking cock or federal money sucking industry called CVS, right? To monitor children for the courts.
And that's
And
why we
to
call it
indoctrinate
Big Daddy
women for
government.
the courts.
Yeah.
Well,
There's a
and
reason
Chris,
why. Yeah, brother.
yeah, I mean, you were mentioning about the costs, associated with COVID. What people don't realize, I work in population health for the Medicare. We have an MA or Medicare Advantage programs that basically offload the risk of managing that population from Medicare to a private
Hi, Bob.
entity. And people don't realize like Medicare still pays out to these MA plans, maybe 95% of what that charge was. But if you had a person that came in with pneumonia, you would have a bundle payment that was like for 2 days, $5,200. If it took you 3 or 4 days, you would lose money as a hospital. If you got them out in a day and a half, got them stabilized, you've got them home health checkup and medication, whatever, you made money, right? So when COVID hit, they doubled it. So it didn't matter whether or not if you presented because of it, if you had it. And the PCR tests at that time, they were running 46 cycles. Funny enough, when Biden got elected, they dropped them down to about half, to 23 to 26 cycles. So you didn't have the incidence of errors or the false sampling rate that you did. Anyway, huge money transfer from the government to quote unquote the private sector, either nonprofit hospital systems or for-profit hospital systems. But for those brothers in the States, that is depleted the CMS trust fund, much like the Social Security trust fund. They are all IOUs. So it's all based on a number of repletion of people working. That's not taking place. It's going to be, everybody's heard about tough economic times. I think people, if they think that their Social Security is going to be there, it's not. There's going to be a means test. It'll be reduced. Yeah. And with Medicare, higher premiums. And it's just, it's working in that field. It's so like, once you see it, you can't unsee it. You can't look at it from a perspective of these are systems that want to help people. They're there to make a profit, period.
That's one thing that I've learned along the way.
This stream is brought to you by Pfizer, by the way.
Oh yeah, this stream is brought to you by Pfizer because nobody donates.
hey, Angler, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
That bill you got from the state, right? How was your name spelled?
Oh, it was spelled the way I gave it to him.
Was it in all capital letters?
Oh yeah, was it?
That part I cannot tell you.
You do know about the capital letters and your straw man and stuff like the birth certificate. Yes, you know all about that.
I've heard about this before, and I'm pretty sure it's been within this community.
Okay,
but I'm not sure.
Angler, if your name was spelled to you or given back to you by a government document in all capital letters, you know what that makes you?
It's not addressed to you. It's actually addressed to your straw man, and you need to understand what your straw man is. A straw man is a dead person that the government creates from your birth certificate. Okay? And it can basically charge you anything you want. There's also a loophole around it. You can charge that back to the government by saying you can charge it to your own straw man. That's what your social security number is. It's basically the government using you as collateral against everything. That's the reason why the state can hold your children as a warrant against you to charge you.
Right. If your name has been printed or typed in all capital letters,
just throw it out.
You've become corporate collateral of the United States of America.
You can actually look your social security number up on the what's it called, the stock exchange, and the government treats you as a commodity and trades you.
Yeah.
And look up the Title 4D stuff on the Social Security Act.
I got to do that. I've heard Hammer talk about that a lot.
I am trying to find a link for that guy's channel.
I don't know if they do that in Canada, but they do that here.
Here you have the same thing where you have a straw man, right?
Chris, I found a sweet short little video on the straw man, and I'll link it once I jump back in the chat, which I'm going to do right now if you guys want to watch it. It's only like 6 minutes long, all right? And it explains basically what it is.
And there was a guy that had a Canadian birth certificate. He did a video on that, and he said that his name was in red letters, and that means that he was like an A+ candidate, or they approved of him at a higher level than a normal American citizen or something like that. It was really bizarre. But he said, yeah, my birth certificate has my name in capital red letters, which means something different than normal black type.
Osiris, the man Osiris. That's the guy who goes over the Title 4D stuff.
Yeah.
And if that's what you're a part of, like I am, you signed up for a contract that you knew nothing about when you signed those fucking divorce papers that they slapped down in front of you that was like a fucking inch thick. You signed up into an illegal contract because as a contractor myself, and that's all these people are, they're the same kind of contractor as I am. If I don't fucking give you the details of something, or I word it let's say I gave you a contract and half of it was in fucking a language you didn't understand, but it wasn't exactly what you saw in English, not a copy of, the same thing translated over into a different language, right? Let's say it's other details that you just need to translate to learn what they are. You sign the contract. They could be fucking details that sign your life away to me, right?
Yeah.
Now,
that's
Chris,
illegal. That is illegal for me to do. It is illegal for them to do as well, but they still get away with it.
You sign away your rights.
Yeah.
Would it be possible to have an argument that it was done under duress?
Well, that's just it. What they consider under duress, right? And this should count as that. Not only would it be under duress, but it's actually under false pretenses, right? Like I said, you don't understand fucking legal speak, right?
But they'll say that you had the opportunity to read it.
That's if you had the opportunity. I mean, I don't understand half of mine right to this day.
Right.
But a contract has to be done in good faith with clear, understood details, right? You signed a contract with no clear details, not even knowing you were signing a contract, right? So if I just get your signature on something and say, oh, you don't need to worry about the details, and it just happens to be a contract, you can't be held liable to it if you didn't understand it.
The reason I asked about the duress part is
oh, absolutely.
My son's mom was withholding.
Yeah,
okay.
So was mine. Yeah,
4.5 months. And I was just doing anything that I could do to see my son again.
Yeah.
And fortunately, we didn't have to go to court, but we had to go to mediation. But like you're talking about, you know, we had to go in there. We had to sit in separate rooms and have fucking lawyers and all that fucking bullshit. And we had to sit there and sign papers. But I just wanted to see my son again.
Yeah.
It is fucking insane to me.
Yeah.
That I
it's
had to
cruel.
sign my name to a piece of paper to see my boy again.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
cruelty. That if anything could be listed under an act of duress, like we've seen them throw out fucking prenuptials because of it, right? Like
It
was
depends on the
nothing to
judge.
it.
Yeah, they could do that.
Depends
Yep.
on the judge. You should be able to take this fucking contract that you have now signed while under a state of duress, while being fucking misled and uninformed, take it to a federal court, and you should be able to fucking argue it, not only get out of that contract, but sue the person that is involved and have them come up against criminal charges. But nobody does it because you think the family court is a court, and it isn't. It
No,
isn't
it's
a court.
not.
The
There's
same
no
judge.
judge involved. It's a
Well,
fucking
no.
magistrate.
There was
I'm sorry.
The person that
What
came
is
in
that?
as the magistrate, right,
Yeah.
was a judge when she walked out because that is her job, right? In my case, that was her job. She was a judge, but she took her papers as a magistrate, went out into her office, either signed it herself or got one of her colleagues to sign it, and said that, oh, well, judge has reviewed it and now it's legal.
Yeah.
And that was to pad her retirement.
And that was to pad her retirement. Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Chopped off. Fucking,
But yeah,
yep.
I mean, the reason they make legal speak like it's a whole fucking different language altogether, and in some cases 9 different languages, right? It's so vague because of the simple fact that they want you to be uneducated in it.
It's
They
called
want-
boilerplate language.
Yeah, they want you to be completely lost in the details and completely overwhelmed. It's
Hey,
there
Chris.
and that way for a reason.
Well, I'll tell you, boys, what I'm afraid of is I'm in a bad spot. I ain't going into details here, but I can't make child support.
Hmm.
I think mom is cool with it. I've been talking to her, and she and I, you know, we're not hostile. I'm afraid of getting put in cuffs one day.
Well, hey, Angler, I can tell you that it's not so much that what her ability to say that's okay, you know, if you need a couple of months or whatever, the state doesn't care.
Yeah.
They're
the state doesn't care.
incentivized in which to make sure that there's a collection because they get paid off of that as well. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, no, you're up in Canada, right? All right, so maybe different down south.
No, he's in the U.S. I'm in Canada.
Oh, okay, all right. So yeah, I mean, I had a coworker whose husband went through this and fell behind. In fact, he paid her under the table outside of the child support, and she never went after him, but they didn't care.
No,
They were
and
like, "Hey, I can't. You know, here's a couple hundred. I can't pay you the full 1,000." She's like, "Thank you." The court or the child support agency didn't care.
no.
Like, he
'Cause they
went
don't
way
give-
past the 18-year mark for ending it.
Are you
Anyway.
kidding me?
Yes, but I
Yeah.
mean, guys, when it comes to going to jail for not paying child support, like you got to be behind a lot. You know what I mean? Now, it really does depend on the judge, the lawyer your ex-wife has, and your ex-wife itself. You know what I mean?
Not in the state where
if they
eight's at.
push it, you can be fucking hounded 24/7.
Did
Well,
you ever
I
see,
gotta-
Chris, that video of the attorney that represented himself per se and just got railed? You know, own a home, she got it. He eventually, it was like a 90-day circle where he couldn't pay. They let him out. He was like, you know, I can't afford it because I've lost my job. He went back into jail. He immigrated to like Saudi Arabia and became a Muslim. I don't know if you ever saw that, but
No.
that's yeah. I mean, this is probably like 6 years ago that this took place. TFM had something on him, and I just thought, holy cow! I mean, this guy. Just, I mean, went through the ringer, had 2 daughters, couldn't see them. Anyway, I just,
It sounds a lot
It's-
like what people men used to do when they would join the French Foreign Legion.
Yeah,
You
bounce.
could be like totally anonymous, and it was full of a lot of men that were on the hook for child support that they just could not pay.
but now, I mean, they will take away your passport if you're
yeah.
like, I think it's 60, maybe 90 days. then
They'll take
you're-
away your fishing license. They'll take away your
Eh,
driver's
driver's
license.
yeah.
Yeah.
Security clearance. That's how I know.
Like,
They'll take away everything.
yeah.
And-
that's
and
how I
boy,
know.
Started me out 6 months in arrears.
It's
Right
not
off
that
the start.
it's not that I don't want to pay it. I understand the responsibility. I don't agree with it. I think that each household should be responsible for the child, without having to send some bitch money every month. But it is what it is, I reckon.
Yeah, no, I mean, if they want, they can fucking make your life hell right now. And the fear of that is basically the extortion wheel, right? It's the blackmail.
There
Like
you
the
go.
fact that they can take away a license or fucking your
ability to
actual
earn
freedom,
income,
your
yeah.
ability to earn. I mean,
Every
all
piece
of
of
that is
freedom
a
that you
fear
have.
tactic.
Yeah.
Every bit.
Many of us big Tau think that the courts are favoring the woman. They're not. They want
No,
they
they're
want
favoring
your
themselves.
money. They want your money.
Oh yeah, they don't give a fuck about a man or a woman. You're
No,
exactly
no,
right.
no.
They want the
No.
fucking money.
Yeah, you're
Right.
just look. Your ex-wife is the fucking door in
She's the
to
MacGuffin.
use
Right.
the children as
Yep.
fucking weapons against you. That's it.
Yep. Yep.
That is
I've got
literally
an
it.
interesting story about the child
I got to
support
roll
deal.
out, guys. I'll catch you later.
I
All
do
right, brother
too.
Johnson,
I
thanks for
gotta go,
coming.
guys. Thanks a lot.
Brother Johnny. I wasn't
See
going to
you
go
guys.
much longer. But,
I know. That's okay.
no, it's all
Angler,
good, man.
hang in there, okay, man. And thanks a
Johnny?
lot. Good to talk to you guys. Yeah, man.
Johnny, keep in touch. Talk to you
We
later,
will.
bro.
Absolutely.
All right.
Bye bye.
So, my mom and dad got divorced in 1974. I was 2 years old. My dad was ordered to pay $75 a month in child support. By the
How much?
time I be
7,500, you said?
$75 a month.
Oh, 75. Okay, I was in 74. Holy shit. And okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. And by the time I was 18 years old, he was like $5,300 in the rears.
Well, I mean, my ex-wife's.
Well, let me finish.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have a half brother that was born in 1980, so he's 8 years younger than me. My mom got a child support check one time for $1.16 because they were taking money out of his paycheck and they were distributing it between us. But I was almost 18 and he was 10 years old. So when my mom got a check for like $1.16, she goes, "I'm not even driving down to the bank." She goes, "It'd take more in gas to drive down to the bank to cash this son of a bitch than it would." She put it in a drawer and laughed about it.
Yeah.
But you were talking about, they could make your life hell. Well, back then and where I'm from, they could have went after him. They could have put him in prison.
Yeah.
I mean, he's years in the bad.
Well, I'm
But
40
nowadays it's like, no, we're going to hammer you.
Yeah, dude.
We're going to
I-
get that money.
I've got 40,000 in the rear because I ain't
Wow.
paying her a goddamn dime as long as she keeps those kids for me, and I don't care if I have to move to fucking Ireland.
You better document the shit out of that, Chris.
Well, that's just it. I am not fucking going to. I do not give a fuck. I will not let you use my fucking kids as hostages and then have me pay you to keep them from me. That's not how a hostage situation works. You get paid to
Switzerland.
release them, not keep them.
Switzerland, Chris.
What's that?
Switzerland. Remember, you
Oh,
were
yeah,
going
yeah,
to
Switzerland. Yeah, I gotta go to Switzerland. But yeah, with the family courts thing, like I said, my ex's mother was getting paid child support from their father up until I left, and he was paying it $50 a month. So it's possible that that wasn't what they agreed on, but that's what he could afford. So as long as you were paying something, in some places they just accept that as you're doing what you can.
Yeah, unless she went back to the courts to say he's not, fulfilling. But nowadays it's all tracked through ADP, the payroll
Yeah, and they
processing
want it.
companies, and and
Right.
the state gets a benefit, from that. Like I think Polska put in there. I think you mentioned a $1.60. I don't know if that's Canadian, but in the States it's $2 for every $1 that's collected.
Yeah, $2.
So,
They tried to say it was 60 cents for every dollar, but apparently that was wrong, and it was $2 they get from the federal government for every one they collect in child support.
Well, that's the scary part. Once you're in the system, like Pooping just said, it's tracked once you're in the system.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take the mom bitching or anything like that.
No.
If they take notice that you're not putting money in the system, they're going to come after you.
I had a coworker whose fiance, stupid man forever getting married to her, but anyway, that's a separate discussion. But he had to have an attorney to go to court to show that he overpaid. He didn't maybe have to have an attorney, but he felt like, given what he experienced prior to that, it was wise to have representation. And he had to show them that this was the cutoff date. It was 18 at that time. It was 18 years, not this Obamacare bullshit until 26. It was 18 years, and he had to have like representation to show he's overpaid. Now, once he overpaid, apparently it was like a year and a half before he finally got that back. In I think it was a refund, or he was able to file it against his taxes as though it was already paid. No interest, nothing. It was like, yeah, we made a mistake.
Well, and here's the thing, though, like that's a very rare event. With what we've got here in Canada, it's a completely different story. I mean, now my ex-wife's lawyers got the Canadian family court system involved, right? So now the Canadian one has taken over. So now they can start garnishing wages, which I don't have. They've already said they're going to take my taxes, which that's fine. I don't pay taxes. But eventually they will say, well, we're coming for your license. We're coming for this. We're coming for that. All I got for them is a great big middle finger. Go fuck yourself. Let's skip to the end. Send your fucking police officers to come arrest me so I can send some back in a fucking bag.
Yeah, but they won't do that. They'll you won't be able to renew your driver's license, your car insurance, registration.
Yeah.
They'll figure out a way in which to make your life hard until.
Well, that's just it. And like I've stated before, guys, over 3,000 suicides a year are linked to these exact same people.
Yeah.
Right to them.
Pooping while standing sounds very up to date on this stuff. He sounds educated. Now, okay, let's say you're behind. Once the child turns 18, do you still owe that money?
Yes. It's much like a student debt. Child support obligations cannot be via bankruptcy. No, it's not going to. I mean, again, check with your state attorney. In my state, no, it is not dissolvable.
All right.
That's why, and like what Chris said, once you're in that system, if they make a mistake, they don't care. It's like if you were to call or even schedule an appointment with them, they find that is just that you're now trying to buck the system, of which that now, okay, we have you flagged. So if you're not paying on the 1st or 15th, whatever your court decree was, they're going to be like, you're in arrears. There's going to be a penalty associated with that. We're going to flag you. That may affect your credit. It goes down from there.
What's your effective job?
I gotta play this.
I have one more question for Pooping. Guys, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to interrupt you guys.
No. I got to shut Bob up so I can play this straw man video for you.
Okay, so Pooping while standing. Once you're in the system, can the mother go into the court and say, I don't want this anymore. I want to erase all this, and we want to be taken. We want to be detached from the state.
No.
Yeah, I would agree with Chris. The judge would be like incredulous, like, wait a minute. In fact, I mean, there have been court cases where they have mediation and they've agreed to a set amount, and the judges said, wait, you can get more.
Yeah.
Again,
Because
like
I think she
all
deserves more.
Like,
Well,
if you,
no,
the best
no,
thing
no,
you
I
could
mean,
do,
or it's a calculation of which that, yeah, you're willing to pay her $2,500 a month, but based on your income, over the last 5 years, all right, you're going to be paid in this state. It's going to be $4,200. Doesn't matter. Like, she will caution her to say, wait, you're settling for 25. You could get 4,200.
yeah,
Are you okay with that? And again, women will go, even if they're like, hey, that's okay. They've got friends. They've got their own attorney that says you're an idiot for taking that for less. Take the 4,200. But back to your question, if you negotiated something with her and after 18, my take would be, I would say I will support them at this amount via the court. And then at 18, I will give you some payout of X amount, 5,000, 10,000. Because in my state, it's until they're 26. And most states are like that now. So you probably need to get, go in and ask for a free 30-minute consultation.
Well,
Costs you
keep in
nothing.
mind, most
black
of them
and
are
white
blood.
answer. Once you're in with the state, she and I, we haven't actually been to court. We went through mediation with lawyers.
Mhm.
Do you have a divorce decree that's been signed and executed, or are you guys
Yes,
still in
sir.
that? Yes?
Yes, sir. Yes.
All right. Well, so like whatever is in that four corners is how things are going to go.
So once we're in the state, we're in the state.
Well,
Like,
the state
up
is
until
its own
you're-
entity, right?
Well, yes, but I mean, once you're into, you may have to have representation to go back and say, 18 years, court decree, here it is, I'm done. If they
What I'm
continue
ask-
to take that out.
I'm sorry, brother. I'm not trying to interrupt. But since we did sign that piece of paper, if I was able to, build a good enough relationship with her, and for her to walk back into court and say, I don't want this anymore, can that happen?
Yes. If she goes in and asks for a modification of child support, yes.
Okay.
Would a judge would a
Yeah.
judge say, "Oh, wait a minute. Oh, good for you"? No, she like you could get more. You know that, right? Because again, she's incentivized, or he's incentivized, or the court system
Right.
is incentivized. So, yes, it could happen. She would be challenged at several points along the way.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
they're going to
the
want to
judge
take
or-
over.
the judge or magistrate, they would probably try to encourage her to not check out.
Yeah, they would pull up the calculator. I mean, states are different, but most states have a calculator. It doesn't matter. They look at custody shared, and that's a whole separate. Like somebody was mentioning in the chats about Denmark. Denmark has an automatic 50-50, and they have a cap for how much that that child would cost. Doesn't have any relevance to what a person's income is, because again, the courts are not incentivized like what we have in the States, where for every dollar they collect, they get that money back from the federal government.
Right.
And then some.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
then
it funds the whole dynamo.
Well, it's already funded, but then it gets extra funding from the federal. It's already funded by your state or your mayor's office. That's already where that funding comes from, because that's local tax dollars that they collect for police, for your judges, for this, for that. But when they get federal funding as a kickback for services rendered,
Yeah,
just
it's kind of
bonus,
like
right?
well, it's kind of like the gas tax here in the States. They should go towards the roads. It goes into the general fund, distributed to whatever, latest issue or voter grab they can get. But with the
Bob, get in here.
With the child support, like Polska just mentioned, they have a cap. Like, we don't care that you made 100,000 kronuts. You're to pay 5,000 or 5,000 a year. There is not a relevance to what your imputed income is. And that video that I was telling you about, that former attorney, the reason why he kept going back in was he like, my imputed income is 180,000. I'm not making that now. If I could get a job as a fucking clerk, I might make maybe 90. But the courts didn't say, well, we know that you're on hard times. They looked at it. No, you were making $180,000 a year. Therefore, your child support, based on their state calculations, and getting back to your question, Angler, whatever your state calculator is, that's what you need to put in and figure out what it is. If she's willing to go back, and I'm just so like, if you were in her position, why? I don't even see that happening unless she could somehow like say, well, our divorce decree says I can't take the kids out of state, but if I lower it by $500 a month, then sign this, and then I can move out of state. Anyway.
You got some research to do, brother. But I'm going to play this video here and let Bob stop fucking harassing me.
Poop, thank you so much for explaining.
Yeah, listen, I'm sorry.
Appreciate it.
I'm a little inebriated.
Well,
I gotta bounce, guys. I gotta get up in about 5.5 hours and go to work.
All right, brother.
All right,
well, thank you for coming,
see you
buddy.
again, bro.
Appreciate everything.
All right,
Good talking.
take care, buddy.
Bye.
All right, we'll play this video real quick, and hopefully this will give you a little bit of insight on where to start, but we'll see.
I saw this already because I was like, I looked at it and was like,
government. It loves you and wants to keep you safe and well. It even wants to make paying taxes, fines, and court costs easier for you. How? Well, you'll need to meet your straw man. He was born the same day you were. He looks like you, has the same name, and lives in your house, but you never knew he existed. You will have even paid his parking tickets or taxes. The worst part? He's been dead from day one. From every birth certificate, a legal personality or legal fiction is created with the same name to confuse little old you into thinking it's you. So there's a human you and a paper you, or as it's commonly known, a straw man. So when it seems like government officials, court clerks, or the police are speaking English, they aren't. They're speaking legalese, designed to make you agree to verbal and written contracts without even knowing about it, all spun from Black's Law Dictionary. For example, when the police say, do you understand?
Chris, you rock my face off.
Yes. What they'll really say is, do you stand under our authority? Oops-a-daisy. You just created a verbal contract with them. Oh, you clever government. Do you know that whenever you register something, you are handing over title to the person you register it with? That's right. Whenever you register something with the government, they assume it belongs to them. Registered your car? Super. Now you are the registered keeper of your vehicle, and a government can crush it when you don't pay your, straw man's taxes. Expecting a new bundle of joy? Well, then you need to register your little darling with a birth certificate. Then they can start the process all over again and create a new straw man for your little one. Isn't that great? So when Junior grows up, he'll be able to generate revenue just like you have. When you notify on your baby by signing the birth certificate, your child becomes a ward of state. And if the government doesn't like what you're doing, they'll assume it's okay to take the child away or make new rules for things they don't like. Not enough school? Smacking your child? Shouting too loudly? Then it's off to social services for the little one. When you get a bill, it's sent to you but belongs to your straw man, not
Credit scores.
you. That's why bills, fines, and summons start with Mr., Mrs., or Ms. Sometimes you'll see your surname in capitals, just like on a gravestone. That's because your straw man is dead and just a silly piece of paper, created before you could comprehend or even consent to it. When you go to court, you represent your straw man. So you, the human, take on any costs, fees, taxes, and fines involved for the straw man. The human you doesn't even need to pay them. But you made a contract with the court by appearing on behalf of your legal personality or straw man, just like the government knew you would. Confused? Well, don't worry. The government doesn't want you to know anyway. If you knew, you'd stop paying things like council tax and parking tickets. Because when you go to court, you are representing your straw man. You are you, alive and made of flesh and blood. Your straw man, or legal personality, is a piece of paper created from your birth certificate. And you think it's you. What a silly Billy. Would you like to know more? Well, then go over to tpuc.org. Get up, get informed, and get real.
And I thought that was a great little video when I first watched it. It really explains in detail, just how fucked up this system is and how they hold over you a big fucking lie. And you sign up for it. You know what I mean? Like I stated last week there, if I could go back in time, my son right now that I have here would not have had a birth certificate. But I didn't watch this 3 years ago. I watched it 1 year ago.
Yeah, but like if you had your child in a hospital,
Yeah.
I mean, they would require that before they would release that kid.
No, they do. They cannot even stop you. They cannot stop you. Because you got to remember, when a child is born in the hospital, even here where we have free health care under, Legal Citizens Acts, right?
Hmm.
His mother was the one that was in there. There was no guarantee that the child would even live. So how can they charge him with a bill or, a free service based on his citizenship to Canada? That went on his mother's bill, not his.
Well,
That's how it's here too. You can go if you're really in need. You can go to the hospital. You're just going to get a big fucking bill. If you're not insured, but they're not supposed to be able to reject you. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's cost shifting. I mean, the people without insurance even if they get, literally you could go into a hospital with a bill, even with insurance, and say, I'll pay 80% right here. Here's a credit card. They'll take it.
Yeah.
Like, for your deductible, your copay, co-insurance amount, if you don't have anything, they'll work out if you pay $50 a month, as long as you're paying, doesn't matter. I had a neighbor who had a heart attack and went to the hospital, and he was self-insured. He was like, I can't afford, it's like a $40,000 bill. And he set up a payment plan. As long as you pay it, they can't report it. Oh yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous. That's why I said cost shifting. So those that have insurance and the healthcare companies, they play a game. I used to do contracting with, healthcare systems. They play a game between who has the largest market share. If we can make that up in volume, we would concede for the pricing. So if you're with
is that right?
No, yes.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking out loud. Please.
No. It's it's if people realize. So I used to work for a very small commercial carrier, but huge Medicare population. Our commercial rates were horrific. They were like back from the mid 90s. I mean, it was, TPA, like private pay network. It was crap. And that was what I was under, obviously, because I was not Medicare eligible. Our Medicare Advantage was huge, and we got such great price concessions. And people go, well, is that right in which to squeeze hospitals? And I'm like, hey, if they're charging more, if their price increases are more than what college increases are, they're 9 to 10% a year. You better damn well be happy that somebody is in between you and what you're paying them. And that's your insurance company. They have faults, believe me. They have like restrictions, access to care. But at the end of the day, people don't realize that what is taking place right now when people go in for like their indigent care, Gonzalez Rodriguez, they came to America, they don't have anything. You're paying more for that. And so as more people access the emergency room for really not even emergent issues, it's just more, it's convenience. I can get a free ride from where I'm at, complain about maybe heart pains. I go to the ER and I really just have a cold. right? And that cost, I don't know, $14,000-$16,000. They're not paying it. Your insurance is going to be reflected the next year or the subsequent years because, the hospitals, they've got to stay open. They've got to make a profit. They've got to pay, the locum tenens, for their 24-hour ER call coverage. It's just, but people go, oh, we need to nationalize healthcare. And as much as what I think, places like Mexico and Canada, Kuala Lumpur, or Malaysia, even Thailand, they're great. But if you think that there is not rationing of care, you don't understand how healthcare works or government run healthcare works.
Well, what I understand from what you just described is that hospitals and, just the medical industry as a whole is a business. And I understand that it's a business. They have to have profit to be able to operate under the structure of, what things are right now.
Yeah. And they're competing against other healthcare systems that might be an hour and a half away. So it's not just like the locality, and generally the most contained healthcare costs are when you have at least 3 competing hospital systems. Why? It's not like, they're providing that much better care. They may have like a physician on staff that, was top in his class and does his residency at, a top rate institution, but generally it's more of like, market pressure, and that's a good thing, and that's where, when you come in and you get government involved, look what happened. If you go back and look at why was health insurance tied to the employer? That was because of market or government intervention. There were salary freezes after World War II. So that was government mandated. So employers are like, well, how do we differentiate and get the best quality people? They're like, you know what? We will pay for all of your healthcare costs. It's not going to be out of pocket. It's not going to be the family doc. And then from that, we got into Medicare, and, private payment is based off of a Medicare fee schedule and, relative value units. And it's very complicated, but it's all tied into, as a government with the balanced budget amendments that they passed, they have like a provision to be able to say, we'll increase Medicare expenditure or physician expenditure by this amount, facility amount by this amount, and then that flows down into the private sector as well.
Well, okay, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's very, I'm going down a rabbit hole, but like, I'm trying to like convey what nationalized healthcare is not the end all be all that people think that it is. In every country that has implemented this, the NIH, Canada, every country rations healthcare, and people in America, I don't think are willing to accept that. There are people in Canada that are like, yeah, I'm not going to wait 18 months to get a hip transplant. No, I'm going to cross the border and go to New York and then get it done there.
Dude, that happens all the time. All the time. People that can afford it generally go to the US. You know what I mean? Like, they'll fly down to some other state, maybe even Florida, and just fucking have a vacation while they're there recouping or waiting to go in. But like here, to even get like say a CAT scan, right? For like when I was having my neck problems after a fucking car accident, that took 7 months to get in there.
Wow.
And
7 months. Well, you know what? And I think they probably looked at you going, well, you're under 50. They have like criteria that like, right, if you were 70, they'd be like, yeah, you're not productive. You're not paying into the system.
Right.
Yeah. You're going to have to wait. Now,
yeah. And I've heard of people waiting years for shit, right? Like here yes, it's nice to be able to go to the emergency or whatever if something fucking crucial happens. But like I said, I've told you guys before about my brother chopping off the top of his thumb and nearly losing his arm or his fucking life because it took him 14 hours to fucking get in to actually see a doctor about a cut off fucking limb by going to 2 hospitals emergencies. Like, it's no fucking joke that you literally have to come in on the ambulance to get in immediately. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
just
I mean,
walk into emergency, they look at it as you walked in, you didn't collapse in front of the fucking registration desk, you're good to sit in the fucking waiting room for 3 or 4 hours.
What's
No
wild to me, I'm kind of the king of wishful thinking, and criteria and rationalizing are 2 words that really stuck out to me.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like those 2 words, you know, unless you're on a triage, you know, in a war zone.
well, you know, and
You just
here's the
take-
thing, like we don't like we don't penalize or incentivize. Well, and I'll take that back. There are a lot of healthcare companies, your
Mhm.
insurance companies that, hey, if you get a Fitbit, if you exercise, but we don't penalize, much like here in the US, you can't penalize the premiums between a male and a female, even though the females utilize healthcare services far more than what males do. You can't,
Is
now you
that
can do
right?
that with auto insurance, but you can't do that with healthcare premiums.
Is that right? No
If
shit.
you're fat, they can incentivize you to maybe, you know, like, hey, exercise, try, you know, get a fitness tracker, or, you know, one of my old companies, they had one where you would log on each day and you would say, hey, I went to the gym. They would track you on your phone. They would say, yep, okay, you get that credit for that. And then you could buy, like, you know, different stuff on their website or whatever. That's
Sure.
different. But if you're like, your BMI is 38,
Mhm.
and you're 40 years old and you probably are at high risk for a heart attack, all they can do is say, we can incentivize, but we can't charge you more. And which is screwed up, because again, that goes into rationing. Like, if you have the majority of people in the US are obese, you know, I think 70% are obese, 40% of that 70% are morbidly obese. I think that's correct, or those are the numbers that
40% or 43%, something like
Sounds
that.
about right. Yep.
Yeah.
Like a big number, a big
Huge.
fucking number, over
Right.
like almost half the population.
Yeah,
Right.
and it's like that goes into cancer, you know, COPD, chronic, you know, congestive heart failure, huge amounts of, like, you know, offsets for that. But yet there's no, like, penalty to say, hey, you know what, you're 5'2", and BMI is not everything. I have a problem with BMI and how it's calculated, but anyway, but as a general measure, it gives a pretty good indicator. You're 5'2" and you're 210, you're fat, right? But we can't
Yes, sir.
talk about that now,
No.
even though that you and I, as taxpayers, are paying for that. And even if they have private health insurance, we are indirectly, you know, it's the whole supply, you know, demand Laffer's curve. So if you have a greater demand than what you have supply, you're paying more for that, right? So if you're like a 100-man team in your company, your insurance premiums are based on what the utilization is for your other 99, you know, coworkers.
Okay.
And every year it goes, you know, your insurance, you know, carrier's going, well, you had a high claim. So if you work with a bunch of women, you're probably going to be paying more than if you just work for a bunch of men. So they're going to go into it every year and go, well, your utilization was higher, blah, blah, blah. But as that, you know what, here, I feel like I'm going down a rabbit hole, probably off topic, but
Well, no, like I was
Health-
actually going to suggest, Pooping, if you got some free time between, well, like say now and Saturday, we should set up a show, dude. Just
I agree
we'll get
totally.
you on
So-
and you know, bring on people to ask questions about this, because I mean, it's like you said, it's a deep fucking rabbit hole of
It's-
how things are going
Is-
when it comes
yeah.
to being charged for shit like this.
Well, and that's where I want to get people, like, don't think of it as an insular incident of what your copay, your deductible is. You need to look at it from a larger perspective of where the amendment is going. And I mean, we have 9% healthcare inflation year after year. Some years were less than that. And that's on top of what we already have with other inflation. So if you're comfortable with paying, I don't know, like when you guys went to school, but you know, every year it's around 8% healthcare inflation, or excuse me, college inflation. Why? Because the government has gotten involved and said, we'll get you Pell Grants, Stafford loans.
That's a big number. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's way above normal COLA increases, right? Or, you know, it's just, or even like, you know, I mean, Medicare, if you're paying for your grandkids because your daughter fucked up. Anyway, it's something which I get passionate about because people don't understand. We are headed towards a economic cliff with our healthcare services that I think we will go towards a one-payer system, and it's not going to be good. It is not going to be an easy transition, or what people used to expect is not going to be what's going to be taking place in 25 years if we continue at this level or at this rate.
Well, I put my email in the private chat there. If you want to reach out to me, buddy, I can send you my phone number and stuff through that.
Okay.
But yeah, reach out to me. Let's set up a show for sometime this week. I got a bit of an announcement to come out Friday or Saturday, so you know we can do a double whammy there.
What's
Or,
I mean, can you give us a teaser?
It ain't great. It ain't great news. How about that?
Okay.
It does have to do with finances.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, and you know that's one of the things that too. I mean, we can. I mean, I can go from look. I'm not the smartest fucking crayon in the whole box, but when I talk about like healthcare and that dynamics, like HSAs, like you know, guys that there are like segments that I would say if I was a young dude at 25, I would be hitting my Roth 401k and then HSA, maybe even harder than because HSAs are you almost get the double benefit from tax free. It's tax like when you withdraw for your healthcare expenses, no charge. You know. Anyway, sorry, I've been drinking and I get very. If I knew what I knew now at my age when I was 25, holy shit, I would be so, and we probably all would be with 2020, right? I would be so much better off. But just knowing like basics of whatever you make, you don't have that. It's 10% less. That 10% goes into a dollar cost averaging, broad base, you know, SPY, VO, BTI. If you want to get aggressive, you know, technology, VGT, and just let it ride. Don't look at it. Don't think about it. But I never had that. Like my father was, I mean, he was a sperm donor and, you know.
Well,
anyway.
I have a question. I know you and Chris are setting up a show, and if you want to save this for that show, great. And I'm going to do my best to find that show because this has been a great night. But I would like to ask you what brought you to MGTOW?
All right, so I got divorced at the end of 2012, and other than Tom Likas, there wasn't a whole lot of red pill content out there. I mean, Patrice O'Neill. I mean, yeah, I didn't really get it from that perspective, but he was out there, you know, as a comedian, but it didn't really resonate. But so yeah, so I it was a short marriage. I lost a lot, half of a home. So that got me to look at like how was I so blind? And it was the typical love bombing, short engagement, 9 months, just like, oh, perfect timing. You know, just lost my mother about 8 months before. So there was a male mother need. So, you know, I fully admit that I fucked up. Like there was a hole that needed to be filled. And I thought that I would get that from a woman or a woman's love.
Yep. All right.
So anyway, so yeah, so since then, I mean, to me, I find it like MGTOW is one component of the whole social dynamic shift. You've got like so many different aspects that kind of feed into like MGTOW or just stoicism or just like the racial, the religious, the political. There are so many elements that I find frustrating, but it's also kind of exciting because if you kind of know what's going on, it's kind of fun to like sit back and kind of watch the interchange take place.
I agree with you. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of components that are going in. It for lack of a better term, it kind of feeds on itself. You know, you realize this, then you realize number 2, then you realize number 3, number 4. I guess it kind of grows. So yeah.
No, and it not only goes from like MGTOW from like what's taking place with the whole pandemic and you know the whole WF and Bilderberger conference, Jekyll Island. I mean, there's even people that there are a couple like financial channels that I follow, and there's this one guy that like he's woken up to what's taking place. Like, you know, he's got a family of 4, you know, pretty young guy, 49, but he's all about prepping. Like he's got a dehydrator, he's got backup, he's got a generator, gasoline, he's got 3 months worth of food, he's got a backup plan of where he's going to leave from Atlanta, you know, to Eastern Tennessee. But this is not somebody that like you would look at going, he's one of these far right militia crazy wackos. No, he wants to make sure that he's going to take care of his kids and his family.
Sure.
But I see a lot of that elements of which that like the whole MGTOW, like you can't rely on anybody but yourself to be permeating throughout a lot of society as they wake up and go, police aren't there to protect you. The government's really not there to help you. You're on your own.
You really are. And if anything, all of those elements, they're not only not there to help you, they're there to crush you. The second you get on a radar, they're fucking after you like bloodhounds. They don't stop until you're dead. You know?
Yeah, if you don't follow their narrative, yeah, you're definitely on on an ESG score. I mean, that's the thing that like this whole ESG guidance scores that corporations, I mean, you could be completely on your, you know, MGTOW, living, you know, in whatever, Florida or Nevada or whatever, off the grid. But if you work for a corporation, likely you'd have to work for a major one if you're that remote. I mean, they've got, you know, ESG scores of which that, oh, you know, we're able to track you on your Reddit account, and what you posted for that doesn't really follow in with what we consider to be socially acceptable guidelines. I mean, yeah, it's just, I mean, we're not, there's been very limit other than like you can invest in the market for ESG companies. There is an ESG scoring system amongst the Fortune 100 companies. That's going to permeate, if we allow it to continue to permeate to the mid-size and small size companies. And it may not be something that small size companies want, but guess what? The bank's going to look at them and go, yeah, you know, your diversity quota is not in line with what the standard is. So we're going to have to charge you an extra point or 2 on your business loan. Yeah, sorry.
Anyway. Well, you know what, guys? We can go into more details on that. So, Poopy, I want you to make a note of that one for sure, because I think we got a lot of guys with a lot of questions on when it comes to financing and dealing with these, especially with what the World Economic Forum is looking to push forward now with, you know, live 24-hour tracking on everybody, including what they purchase, where they go, where they travel, who they interact with, you know. All of that is going to focus in as well. And I think those can kind of correlate back and forth a bit. So you should definitely email me and we'll do a chat between the two of us as soon as possible.
Sounds
Kinda
good.
Hammer out some details.
Yeah, no,
And
I just
bring
got
that
it here.
forward.
Yeah, and it's all relative to where you are in your life. For those that are in their maybe mid 30s, early 40s, you've got 25 years until you're going to be at that point where you want to pull the plug and like retire. For those that are like 20, so anyway, yes, I got your email. I'll email you back. I just, man, for those guys that are in their mid 20s, you've got, man, I don't want to be black pill, but you have knowledge, but what you are going to see is going to be so far different than what your parents did.
Mhm. Well, I already see it's completely different from anything my parents did, but my parents didn't have a real grasp on the real world for the most part. I mean, they lived in a very isolated kind of community in an isolated fucking island, that were very old fashioned from the get go. I mean, we were behind in the times 30 years, if you think about it. You know what I mean? The only thing that ever catches up with the times where I come from is generally like addictions. So if there's a new drug out in fucking Los Angeles, it's out there too, and it's taken over the population by storm. So I mean, that's how we get updated. But anyway, guys, we're going to be shutting this down here real quick. So I want to thank everybody for coming. And Angler brother, you're more than welcome anytime to come back and talk about what's going on with the ex-wife there and the child support thing. How much are we looking at here?
Can I say one more thing? Pooping.
Yeah.
I'm very sorry that happened to you, and that's the reason why you had to find the Big Towel community. But glad you're here, bro.
Oh no, listen, I appreciate the Angler, but you know what? At the end of the day, it was my choice. I mean, I fucked up. I didn't know.
No. Don't be shaming yourself.
No, I mean, I know. I look at it like I own that. It was my choice. There is knowledge now. There were red flags that I could clearly say, huge red flags. I chose to ignore them because I am very much a principled person, believe in, God, family, country. Yeah. So when I made that commitment, I was there. I was like, no matter what, I wanted to make it work. So it was only through that process that I went, wow, it wasn't really my choice to. I mean, she filed for it. It was one in which that could I have done something different? And then that led me to TFM, Sandman, Barbarossa, Stardust, all the OGs, and then with the new crowd, with Better Bachelor and Hammerhand. It's just my thing to me is that like Aaron Clary has a good book called The Menu, and there are ways that you can download that for free. It's worth, I think it charges, I don't know, $8.95 for it.
Chris, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Anybody?
Oh, are we offline?
No, we're still on.
Oh, okay.
Angler might have just lost connection for a second.
I might have. My bad, boys.
No, it's all good, buddy. All good.
Great book. I mean, it's one in which that when you realize that the traditional picket fence, 2 kids, a dog, good job, going to be like have a pension or whatever. Yeah, that's off the menu. That's not going to take place. So when you realize like that is not even part of the equation, it makes you think, well, then what will satisfy me? It very much like when people are looking at retiring and they're 40 and well, what are you going to do when you retire? Like, are you running to something or from something? Are you running from work, you don't like, or you're tired of, or burn out, or you're running to something that is going to take place in retirement?
That's
running to something. You got to figure out what the fuck you're going to do when you cross that finish line to it. Much like once you're gone with your marriage and relationships and realize female nature, what are you going to do after that?
Arvo thinks you fell asleep for a minute there, Angler.
Vero, I've been asleep and aware the whole time.
It's all good, brother. All good. Well, no, it's great. Can I get you guys to hang on for a bit once we shut this down here to stay backstage for a couple minutes?
Well, if you're up for it, yep.
Awesome. Well, let's say goodnight to everybody and thank everyone for coming, because you guys are really the reason we're here. And you know, if you ever want to have an open chat, guys, it's for anybody to pop in most days. If I don't have a panel set up, it'll just be like a chill stream. So I appreciate you guys coming. I appreciate everybody on the panel. Thank you guys for coming on and sharing what info you had or your stories. And I'm hoping we can keep this going. Like I said, probably Friday or Saturday, I'm going to have a bit of an announcement that might put a bit of a wrench into that. But either way, if I never speak to you guys again, I appreciate everything we've had to say to each other, all of our conversations. And yes, Riggs, I'm waffling. You bastard. But on the other side of that, I do appreciate you guys being here. Everybody that has donated through the PayPal, appreciate that too. And, you know, if you can, feel free to donate a couple bucks. It's highly appreciated. But for right now, we're going to end this and say our goodnights. And yeah, look forward to hopefully Pooping and I can get something together for this week, because I think that'd be a good show.
Yeah, man.
I think so too. I think that's going to be a great fucking show.
I think it'll be a good show too. Hey, brother Cowboy. We were just wrapping up, brother. So I want to say goodnight, everybody, once again, and we will see you all